Welcome to Big Blend Radio with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazine.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Quality of Life show. We're very excited because Dr. Jackie Eubany, she's been on our show for many years, starting with this show, will be on every third Wednesday to get our hearts where they belong. Happy, healthy, and ticking, right, Dr. Jackie? You want
That's
our
right.
Going well. And, Dr. Jackie is the author of the best-selling book, Women and Heart Disease, The Real Story. You can go to our website for that, womenandheartdiseasebook.com. She's, of course, a certified cardiologist and an electrophysiologist. And today we're kicking off this new series, our Wellness Wednesday series with her, talking about food and diet and cooking, because over the holiday season, I don't know about y'all, but some of us had a good time. And we're in that part of, are we sticking to our New Year's resolutions right now? Don't look at me because I need to talk to Dr.
real
Jackie
quiet
today. That's all I know. But we're going to talk about these lifestyle choices in food. And as Dr. Jackie says, really, and what her book is about is to reverse some of our lifestyle habits. And if we reverse those habits, we can actually help our bodies 80%, right? Reverse some of the naughty stuff and be heart healthy. And the whole thing is really because women, it's the number one killer, right, for women?
That's correct. Heart disease is the number one killer of women in the United States.
Wow.
Yep.
And so diet is a good starting place.
Absolutely.
Because you may not be able to go jogging everywhere right now. And it's so different with this pandemic. Do you go in? Do you stay out? What do you do? But we can start to take control by what we put in our mouths. Nancy would like me to control that a lot.
That's correct.
So
our diet.
Go ahead.
I was going to say our diet has a lot to do with our health. So it's very important to watch what you put in your mouth, because that really determines your health long term.
So we are what we eat. So if your list, you said no refined carbs. You've got a great list of 10, 12 different things. Of the to do's and don't do's, you said no more refined carbs. So if we keep eating Wonder Bread, we may look like Wonder Bread.
That's correct. That's correct. You want to stay away from refined carbs or the white kind of carbs, like the white bread, the white rice, the white pasta, because those are refined and those are unhealthy for you.
You mean you're taking us away for comfort food and it's winter? No macaroni cheese.
No, but you can substitute that with more whole grain stuff. You can try the brown pasta, the brown rice, and whole grains are better for your heart than the white refined. So they're white because they're refined, or they've been processed. They've gone through a couple more steps of processing where their healthy ingredients are taken out, and all you're left is the bad stuff.
But wheat bread really does taste better than white bread.
I would agree, and it's probably more filling for you.
Yeah, I think it tastes better. And I haven't had brown pasta. I haven't.
Yes, you
pasta.
do. That's what
we eat. Wheat pasta, whole wheat pasta, whole grain or whole grain pasta.
What about the vegetables? The vegetable pasta, is that a naughty?
We've had that.
You just have to make sure, you look on the back and see what kind of carbs they use. Do they use white flour or do they use whole grains? So you want more whole grains.
Okay, so we'll need to look at that, because I just thought it was pretty. Because you got different colors.
Oh yeah. You can add vegetables, but you don't want to. You want to make sure you don't have a lot of the refined carbohydrates.
So that is not when they say eat the rainbow. Do not eat the multicolored pasta, and it doesn't mean eat Fruit Loops either. Apparently, that's a no-no.
No, that's all sugar and it's just processed.
Yeah,
those things are bad for you. So in general, the healthier things tend to be fresher. The fresh fruits and vegetables, and the things that are not so good for you are things that tend to be more processed, things that you can eat right out of the box, you throw in the microwave. Those tend to be processed with a lot of additives that are bad for your heart.
No, you say to use olive oil. when you're cooking. And is that because of the processes as well that the other oils go through that, make those hydrogenated oils, and that likes to stick to the hips?
Yes. So olive oil has been studied and it actually has, heart benefits. We always say, that there are good fats and there are bad fats. The
Mm,
bad fats are more the fats that you get from animal products, and they tend to be harder and they tend to clog up your arteries. Whereas the good fats don't do that and they tend to be better for your heart. So olive oil is one of those good fats
mm,
that's good for you. And so
mm.
we recommend substituting that instead of regular, animal fat or that's bad for you.
What
Mm.
about peanut oil? That we used to, back in the day when I worked in fast food, and I'm allergic to fish, and we do need to talk about fish. I
Yes.
worked at Arthur Treacher's as it's a really good place for someone who can't be around fish. They cooked with
Mm.
peanut oil. Everything was in peanut oil, and they said that it was healthier and it didn't have cholesterol, as I
Well, it
recall.
is. It would be considered healthier than, you cooking with margarine or lard or something like that.
Okay,
But overall, olive oil is the best in terms of
okay.
heart health benefits and healthy
Mm,
eating. So in
Mm.
general, we say that the bad fats tend to be solid and room air, whereas the fats that are better for you tend to be liquid at room air. That has to do with its makeup. We say,
mm,
the makeup of the you have to go to the microscopic level and talk about the makeup of the oil.
mm.
Mm.
So we say polyunsaturated hydrogenated products versus polyunsaturated. So the polyunsaturated ones tend to be healthier and they tend to be liquid in room temperature. And the bad one, which is the saturated fats, tend to be solid in room air. So
No
that would be a good way
saturated
to
and
gauge.
no
Mm.
refined, no saturated, no hydrogenated. Stay away from the things that sound scientific. If it's just stay away from
If
that.
if you can't read the label and you can't say the word, you probably shouldn't eat it.
Right,
Exactly,
exactly.
exactly. One thing that you put on there, which I'm very excited because now I know I can have whole wheat
Mm.
toast. That means I can put
Yes.
avocado. You said on the
Mm.
salad, but is avocado toast allowed?
Yes, well, if you use the wheat bread, you want to stay away from refined. And if you pick avocados are healthy, they're the
Mm.
healthier fats. So you can pick that instead of using margarine or butter. It's
Mm.
definitely a healthier fruit.
I do that with salsa. So I have
Yeah, salsa is healthy.
guacamole
Mm.
toast. Well, it's a little spicy. And you said, okay, here it
Mm.
is to look at your cooking. And Nancy, you're going to love this. No salt. Not allowed salt.
Well, now, if you can have olive oil, then I know olives aren't that good for you, but I want
Yes, unfortunately.
because they're salty.
Mm,
Yeah.
So,
Unfortunately, salt is also bad for you, especially if you
yes.
have uh, medical conditions like congestive heart
Mm.
failure or hypertension.
Mm.
So in those situations, you want to cut back on your fat. We say about a teaspoon a day is how much you should be using.
Mm.
And you can spice up your food with other,
Mhm.
spices, so you don't need to put that much salt. There are a lot of, spices out there,
Mhm.
that you can use as a salt substitute so that you can
mm.
cut back
Yes.
on the salt that you put in your meals.
I've
Celery.
been playing with spices.
Mhm.
Good,
I have.
good,
Yeah.
good.
Then I I like to use turmeric.
Mm,
That's a good one. That is
Mhm.
definitely a good one.
mm.
Just a bit of
Absolutely.
it, but it's cool. I like it.
I
Yes,
made
absolutely.
vegetarian chili. So we've got beans and it's got a lot of turmeric. We even used
Mm.
some rice, brown wild rice, just so you know. It was,
Mhm.
Great.
yes.
Mhm.
And we put celery in there, and the celery tends to make things a little saltier. But there was salt in there. I'm sorry. I'll try and redo that and not do that again. But having these spices, it does add a whole bunch. Then instead of doing like here or putting like oregano and basil, and it makes
Right.
cooking fun and it
Mm.
smells good. And
And it
but I
tastes
just
good.
celery
Mhm.
just seems to um, add some extra salt in there without having to use salt. That's what I've noticed. And then one chef we know, she says if you're cooking with red wine, you don't use as much salt because the red wine makes things a little saltier. Am I
Well,
Well,
if you cook
the
with wine, doesn't the alcohol just go away
Yeah.
anyway?
it does evaporate, yes, with
Yeah.
the heat, it does evaporate.
Yeah.
But in terms of alcohol, I know we go over this every time we talk.
Uh-oh.
You're allowed you are allowed 5 ounces as a woman, 1 5 ounce of glass of wine a day. For men, it's two 5 ounce glasses, but for women, 1 5 ounce glass of wine a day. And it's good for the heart. It's been shown to improve your good cholesterol. But again, if you don't drink, you shouldn't start drinking wine for heart health benefits. There are other ways that you can improve your heart health that does not include drinking wine. You can exercise, eat a heart healthy diet, and those kinds of things. But if
Okay.
you do drink, and if you do like wine, like most of us do,
Mhm,
you
mhm.
want to make sure you stick to just 1 5 ounce glass a day.
So
Just
how
to
come
note.
men get to have two?
It's just what was studied, and their
Hmm.
bodies can process it better, and they're able to, have better heart benefits with two. Um, but for women, just one
Mm.
ounce glass,
Well,
I
next
one
am
time
5 ounce
jealous.
glass.
the next time I'm coming back as a man.
Well, I just think 3 glasses is the perfect, because you should have one when you're done working for the day. So you can be
Mhm.
outside, or, when it's nice weather. And so you have that nice relaxed time. Then you have one while you're cooking, because now
Mhm.
you have to do a chore and you might as well feel a little happy about it. And then one when you're eating the food. Or then there's dessert.
Yeah.
So this is the Dr. Jackie show where we say, can we do this? And she says no.
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 Oh, okay.
I
But you let
cannot
us have
endorse.
avocado. You
Mm.
let us have
Yes,
avocado.
yes,
And
yes.
Mm.
5 ounces is good. And dark chocolate we're allowed, right? That a little
Dark
bit of that.
chocolate is better for you, absolutely, than milk chocolate. But again, small quantities.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's the thing. A little bit of a lot of different things.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
does
You
sugar bad? Is sugar bad? So many people I know are doing this no sugar lifestyle, not necessarily a diet, but they're like eliminating salt and sugar. And I'm going, why? But they look really healthy. I don't know how happy they are, but this no sugar thing, which I get, like, we actually don't,
We don't
well,
really eat
gummy bears on the
sugar.
road is a bad naughty. Our
There's this
sugar comes from wine, because we make that choice. It's like, are you going to do that? I won't say what happened over Christmas. It was bad. People gave us chocolate.
yeah.
But this no sugar thing, is that good for the heart to watch sugar just like we do with salt?
For your overall health, cutting back on sugar is definitely good. Diabetic patients have a difficult time, and not just diabetic. People could be pre-diabetic and not even know it.
Mm.
Having high levels of blood sugar is bad because it does cause detrimental effects not only to your heart but to other organ systems. So it's better to cut back on the sugar as well.
Mm.
Okay.
Yay.
There it is.
But you don't have to cut it back to zero. It really depends on what your health is. If you're diabetic, definitely the restrictions are a lot
Mm.
stiffer
Sure.
for people with diabetes, pre-diabetes. But if you're not, either of those, you can cut back on your sugar. It doesn't have to be, completely no sugar anywhere, which is very difficult to do because you'd be
Yeah.
surrounded
Right.
Because
everything that has sugars. Even fruits have,
Mhm.
natural sugars, which are of course better than the processed sugars. But
Mm.
so it depends on what your health condition is, and of course, speak to your primary care doctor before implementing restrictive diets like that.
You
Mm.
know, avocado and mangoes, those are the two, and grenadilla, or what do you call them? Passion fruit here. Those 3 things. That's it, and wine and cheese. Are we allowed cheese? Or is
See how
that
she
getting
keeps
into
adding?
okay, cheese? Because I know that you're also working on your Mediterranean diet book. So cheese, a little feta, a little goat cheese, is that allowed?
That is allowed, but just
Mm.
again, moderate amounts of those cheeses. Yeah, cheeses are okay.
Okay, so we
But
got
the
a little
problem
moderate.
with yes, but the problem is people just overindulge, and that's
Mhm.
that's where we run into problems. But just
Oh,
moderate
well,
amounts.
there's the naughty thing of people eating a piece of cheese out of the fridge, and you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
but there's good cheese, and I'm just building a really good salad. This is the way you talk about animal meat, well, protein, animal proteins. So fish is better. It sounds like on your list you said 2 servings of fish a week is really good.
Yes,
Um,
especially the oily fish like the salmons, because they have the omega-3 fatty acids, and we know that omega-3 fatty acids are beneficial for the heart and improves your cholesterol profiles along with other things as well. So you could, eat two servings a week of oily fish, or you could take omega-3 supplements, as some people do.
Oh,
okay.
maybe we should do that because we
Flaxseed.
can't eat fish. So
Yeah. We don't, yeah. We can't eat fish. We're allergic to it.
All kinds of fish, or just shellfish?
Everything. We stay
all
away
of
from
that.
all of it because it gets
Really?
it's because then we do that thing where we swell up and I can't talk because
Yeah.
my throat closes.
Yeah, no, that's considered bad.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Nancy
right,
says,
yes.
"Here,
Stay
have some
away.
fish, Lisa. Have some fish."
The
So,
only
yes.
the only fish I found that I can eat is canned tuna, which makes me feel like canned tuna is not really tuna.
It's
Yeah,
the
you want
chicken
Yeah.
of the sea.
Yeah.
to. Again, the canned products tend to be
Oh,
bad
Yeah.
for you because they have a lot of salt in them. Because that's how they
Mhm.
preserve these things. That's how they can stay on the shelf for months and
Right.
months at a time with all these
Mhm.
preservatives that
so
are not.
so when we say we want to make spam burgers, no.
Oh,
Oh
good
no.
heavens!
No. You're
What
gonna give
is
her a heart.
spam? I
'Cause
know.
I
What
don't
really
want to
is
know
spam?
what's in
I
spam. It's
think
like
no,
bologna. I don't want to
it
know.
it is
Exactly.
it's a whole bunch of different sausages mixed together. My dad
Yeah.
used to be a butcher, and
Uh-huh.
his version of spam tasted a lot different than what's on the shelves. A lot
So
less
that's kind of
saltier. Lot less
Okay.
saltier.
so it's scarier when you actually purchase it because you really don't know what they put
Mm-mm.
in it.
You really don't know
Well,
what's
you
in
know
it.
what? October
Other
is
than
sausage
there's
month.
a lot of
Oh,
ammonia. What did he call them? Ammonia sulfates.
that's not good. That's
Yeah.
all preservative stuff.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
chemical again. But October is sausage month, and we're doing a live radio broadcast, I think October 3rd, to celebrate sausage festival. And we're having all these sausage recipes. So you probably won't want to
Wow.
come on that. Well, it's a whole Oktoberfest thing, and it's a whole crazy, silly thing, but because
Sounds
it's
interesting.
like beer
Mm.
and sausage pairing. So I have a funny
Whoa.
feeling that
Mm.
you're going to tell us that will be your naughty thing for the month. Like you're allowed one day of silliness, and then
One day, right, in moderation, that's right. But
so
don't
you can have
overdo
one
it.
sausage link instead of,
Yeah.
okay, all right,
Instead of eating the whole pack or something.
Right.
yeah, just you can
And you're
taste.
not going to do that every day. You
No,
do it
No.
once.
no,
Yeah, exactly.
we're actually
Yeah.
vegetarian. Nancy and I are pretty vegetarian.
Pretty
Are
much.
you?
Mhm.
Yeah. However, so a lot of our protein comes because I can't eat tree nuts now because of apparently that happens when you start aging for some people, like myself. That tree nuts when those are healthy, right? Like almonds. Would that be a healthy snack? Because that's a good fat.
Yes.
Okay.
Almonds, absolutely. Almonds are healthy for you.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. So now eggs. This is the yes no game. It really is. I think next time you come on the show, we'll have like 10 people just give out a word and you just go yes, no.
Yes, no, yes, no. No,
Okay, eggs. Yeah.
eggs are a good source of protein.
Mm.
The yolk does contain quite a bit of cholesterol. So if you have high cholesterol, you should, be cognizant of how many eggs you eat, or you can eat the egg whites. But
Mm.
overall, eggs provide a good source of protein that's healthy for you.
And you can cook them. You're going to have to use olive oil because you don't, or you could boil them,
Yes, you
broil
can
them,
boil them, broiled,
Mhm.
exactly.
poach
Many
them.
ways.
Oh, that's healthy.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I'm feeling
exactly.
better now. Okay, we've got some yeses. Okay, now vegetables. You say look at them as being your main meal.
Meal, yes, you can think about, instead of having the animal protein like the beef as your main meal and the veggies as a side, you can make the veggies your main meal and maybe the animal protein as a side for people who love, animal products or, meat. So if you, switch it out that way, that's a healthier way to eat than
And it's
making the
cheaper.
protein yeah.
It's cheap.
Yeah, it probably is cheaper this day and age. I know that steak prices have increased quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it's probably cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cheaper when you start getting more vegetables than meat. Meat seems to have that adds up.
Well,
Yeah, it can add up depending on
there's
what
a
you're
lot
buying.
more to raising
Hmm.
meat product, raising animals for meat products than there are,
Hmm.
vegetables.
And it depends if you're buying organic,
Mhm.
cage free, if you're
Yeah.
looking at it just, like look at the meat. I mean the beef, a lot of times you want things to be local, grass fed, all of that. And the more you do that, it just keeps adding up. So you get to have one meatball instead of 10.
That's right.
And the meatball is this big.
Yeah. Should we be looking at this also for children, families, when they're looking at
Mhm.
budget meals? That's where I think they get us in the stores with the refined, here's the white pasta, but if you just take the whole wheat, make it fun, start kids off with that kind of, so it's not like something you have to change your lifestyle when you're in middle age suddenly.
Absolutely. I think that's an excellent
Mhm.
idea. Start raising your kids to eat healthy
Mhm.
so that it becomes a normal way of life for them and it doesn't have to be a drastic change in your lifestyle as you get older.
Mm.
Absolutely.
And yes, sometimes you see with children that are, so I feel really bad for them because I can imagine what they go through in school when they're very, very overweight.
Yeah.
And, I think it's hard for them to play sports.
Mhm.
And they're getting teased. So, I mean, if you feed your child what's healthy, you can really make them a lot happier.
Mm.
Right.
And then later on, they'll make the right choices. Because I think once you get used to eating a certain way, then like I find now, because we really don't use hardly any sugar at all. If we have something in our coffee, we use stevia.
Mm.
And, and when if you go back and put a teaspoon of sugar in your coffee, it's almost too sweet because
Yeah,
my taste buds have changed.
my teeth bent. Like if you have a soda,
Yeah, see, I don't do soda.
I weird out. My body weirds out. It
Mm-mm,
doesn't like it.
no.
We have it once in a while, but it's your teeth start. I just feels like it's all bending. But your palate change. It does. The teeth feel like they bend whenever I have sugar like that. It's like, ooh, it's not. Your palate changes when you
Yeah.
Mhm.
start
No, I
getting
mean,
away from that.
yeah. So those carbonated products, sometimes have the carbonation can affect your enamel, help wear your enamel down, and that probably
Mhm.
is why you feel like there's something going on with your teeth.
Yeah, or just because it's
You're
just like,
being
oh, it's so
attacked.
sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
but Nancy mentioned coffee, and sometimes I've heard that with patients with high blood pressure that coffee is not a good thing. Or is that
Not a
true?
lot.
Well, the jury's out on really whether or not, coffee is bad for you. We don't really know
Mm,
in terms of heart issues.
Okay.
But if you do have a specific heart condition where, your heart's either racing, we call it
Mm.
palpitations, then you should probably stay away from coffee because coffee is a stimulant that can
mm.
worsen that condition.
Mm.
But as far as cholesterol, as far as causing heart attacks or anything like that, we don't really know if coffee has a detrimental
If I
effect
don't
on
have a cup of coffee, I'm going to have a heart attack. Are you kidding me? If I don't have coffee in the morning, could you imagine
That's
if the
right.
world didn't have coffee, how crabby we would all be?
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
yeah.
Mm.
Angry
It would
bunch of
be
people.
intolerable.
It would be like
Yes.
Quite
World War
intolerable.
III. I mean,
Yeah.
forget COVID and everything. This would be like a real pandemic. Everybody
Yeah.
be crazy. But so coffee, going back to those kind of things, those stimulants, you see a lot of people drinking those Red Bulls and all these really high, like
Energy
energy kind
drinks.
of drinks. Are those good for your heart, do you think? Or does it matter? Or is it per product?
Now the
Mhm.
stimulants, especially the Red Bulls, they can
Mm,
cause again palpitations. If you have issues with fast heartbeats, tachycardia, or extra beats, like what we call premature ventricular contractions or PVCs, PACs, if you have conditions like that, the stimulants exacerbate them and it just
Mm,
mm,
makes you feel worse. It makes you more symptomatic.
mm.
Um,
mm.
so we generally recommend to stay away from those kinds of drinks.
Don't use them in cocktails.
Oh gosh.
Some people
Your
do.
poor body.
No.
We got the
Like, I
final
don't know how to
no. We
act.
got the big no.
So you take the stimulant and you put alcohol in it. That sounds
Yeah.
delicious.
Well,
No,
no,
it's
because
probably
Red Bull and vodka.
see, well, there's like that TV series coming out, and or I think it's already been running, with kids doing all kinds of drugs and doing these kind of cocktail drinks, kind of like
Mhm.
a dare system where they're pushing themselves further and further with all these things in and your bodies. And that's why I bring it up. I mean, you came on the show talking. Remember, you were on the doctor show talking
yes.
about this. About
Yeah,
oh yeah, do cocaine, try it once, but you may never do it again. But down the road, you're in trouble.
exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. It can still have long-term effects on your heart.
Mm. And so after your meal,
Mm.
cigarettes or vaping? No.
No, cigarettes are
Mm-mm.
terrible for you. Terrible,
Mm-mm.
not just for the heart, but most of your organ system. It's been linked, there's a direct link to cancer.
Mm.
Mhm.
The Surgeon General said that smoking cigarettes is one of the most preventable
Mhm.
ways one of the biggest ways that you can prevent heart disease.
Oh.
So you want to stay away from cigarette smokes and vaping,
Mm.
because these are what we call carcinogens. They have chemicals in them that cause cancer.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people went to
Mm.
vaping thinking it was a healthy alternative.
No, it's not. It's
Oh,
not.
Mm.
They're all
another
the
no.
same kind of products. Yeah. So you
Mm.
want to stay
Okay, I'm
away
going to
from
get you
those.
to answer out a yes. After you have your meal that's got mostly vegetables or a side of fish or a side of meat, right? You've got salad, some greens, some avocado. You've had your 1 5-ounce glass of wine if you're a lady. Then you're going to close it all off by taking a walk around the neighborhood or the park.
Yes.
Okay, I
That
win.
sounds
There it
great.
is.
Yes, that is awesome. That's an awesome way to end your evening. And you can go with friends, make it fun. Once
Mhm.
you've gathered with your friends for this delicious meal filled with vegetables and avocados and olive oil, and you have your glass of wine, and you guys can go out and take a walk in your neighborhood. That's
Just
a
walk it
The
perfect
off.
dog.
end.
Yeah,
Yes,
Mhm.
a
I love
perfect
it.
end to a perfect evening.
Yes, I love
See?
this. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Jackie. Always good wisdom. The yes and no game with Dr. Jackie. Tune in
Yes.
for every third Wednesday here on Big Blend Radio. More importantly, go get Dr. Jackie's book, Women and Heart Disease, The Real Story. You can get it at womenandheartdiseasebook.com, on Amazon, all those great places. We're waiting for the next one. We're very excited because we know you're working away. And so
Yes.
in the meantime, we'll play yes and no. And for anyone who is in Orange County, Southern California, you can go make an appointment to see Dr. Jackie. And you can go to her other website, which is cvwellnessinstitute.com, standing for cardiovascular, right? Is that a big word for
Yes,
me?
that's
There it is.
correct.
All
That's
right.
There you
correct.
go.
All right.
Thank you so much,
Well,
Dr. Jackie.
thank you. It was a pleasure as always.
Always fun. And
Good
I'm
to
going to
see
go
you.
take a run around the block.
And I'm going to watch you.
And Dr. Jackie's going to have a glass of wine.